This is what will be going on the car. I'm using the paint shop system, so there's the sealer. I got 2 coats of that to go. Then I'm going the chrome yellow lacquer, followed by the plain clear coat, maybe 3 or 4 coats of that to come. Pretty easy, no mixing. Lays down fairly nice if you believe what everybody says. So we'll see how it goes. The color is a little bit brighter than the stock Jensen Healey color, but that's fine by me because I found the other one to be a little bit muted. Not a purist here, so that's what it's going to be. Okay, just before I put the first coat of the sealer on, I'll just, of course, go around and blowing all the dust off. Not shown here is between color coat and primers. I did 3 cleanings with a glass cleaner and a degreaser, and then finally an alcohol solution. So everything is perfectly clean. Here we go. After the coat of the sealer, it's all laid down quite nicely. Took about 2 tins to do this much of the car. I'd previously done the underside of the bonnet and the boot lid, so those were already finished. But yeah, it's gone on quite nicely. This is 2 coats, I think I said, and 1.3 tip, about 25 psi on the gun, and yeah, not too bad at all. So I have to get on with some color coat. This stuff doesn't have to dry very long before the color coat can go on, so that's nice using the actual automotive paints. Things go together pretty quickly. You could do this in a day, I guess, if you really wanted to, but I'm spreading it out over a couple of weekends just because I don't want to rush and I don't want to make any mistakes. So there's the back valance. Pretty happy with the way I banged the big dents out of that. It looks really nice. So as I said, here I'm doing the 3-step cleaning process. I just picked this up off of an Eastwood Garage recommendation video on how they do the prep. So 2 coats, 3 in some places. It's turned out quite nicely. Paint went down really well. So I'm happy with the way it's sitting. I can think of the only issue that I had, unfortunately, was between Monday when I put down the primer and today, which is Saturday. The dandelions in the neighborhood have decided to blow their tops, and so I've got quite a bit of fluff floating around, and even though I've got fans in here and I've kept it meticulously clean and watered down, probably going to have to deal with a few of those in the paint, but I'll have another go at it before I put the clear on, which I shall be doing momentarily. Okay, moving some things around in the yard now. So I just took the car out into the sun and had a nice look around it. All looks really good. The dandelion fluff doesn't appear to have been much of an issue actually, and when I go to buff it out or do a wet sanding on it, I think I'll be pretty much free and clear of any of that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm no expert painter, and this paint shop system seems to be pretty forgiving. I didn't get any runs. It may have gone on a bit dry, but that's down to me more than anything. The wet sanding, I'm using guide coat, tip I picked up off of YouTube, and that really seemed to be helpful. I often struggle when I'm doing this to see what sections I've got, but if you use the guide coat for at least the first pass, it seems to really make things a lot easier. So I progressed from 1,000 grit to 1,500 grit to 2,000 grit, and then I went to my orbital buffer and used some 3M buffing compound to get the final finish. And I've also got one more step of compound to go, and then a wax. But yeah, did the whole car inside and the engine bay and all around. It's a lot of days work, but sure makes a big difference. I was a little hesitant to do this much sanding, but seems to have been fine with 3 coats, mostly of clear on everything. So also some shots in a little bit of how this has all turned out. Okay, a couple of weeks later now, and I've got some more time and some decent weather. So I've got the doors, the boot lid, which is in the background, and the bonnet lid, as well as the front valance. So giving those a go. Here I'm putting on the clear, already done 3 coats of color on all of these parts. Here's the body with all of the wet sanding done and 1 round of buffing with the 3M compound, not the boot lid. You can see the little difference there, how that looks with the wings. So very shiny, very glossy, very nice, very smooth. So quite happy with that. I was not able to do the bottom side of the boot and the bonnet or any of the little bits and pieces like the hinges and some hardware that I've got yet to do. So I got another couple quarts rather of the paint on order. I can't seem to get this color in Canada, so I keep having to order it, and it's back ordered. I got the first set from Eastwood. They're back ordered to the end of July, so I found some at Summit, but disappointing that I can't get this locally, but is what it is. So I'll move on to doing some other stuff. There's the hood done and cleared, waiting for buffing, as well as the doors, and in the background there, the front valance. So all in all, I'd say this is going to take probably 5 quarts of the color, same amount pretty much of the clear, a little bit less of the primer. But I did it pretty much in 2 days. Those are the bumpers. They're going to be black. I've got that waiting to go as well. So there you go, paint and paint shop. On to the next thing.